Hi, I am your friendly President George Washington. This is in response to Obama's current weekend speech. He said that 2 years ago he set out to change the way Washington works. One of the ways he helped change the way Washington works is by making sure that he hired all the people that worked in the Clinton administration. That sounds like change to me too. He's talking about lobbyists only working for the wealthy. He stated that he was meeting people in backyards. One of the people that he happened to meet in the backyard was Joe the plumber. And remember all the trouble that caused when President Obama said that he was just going to redistribute wealth from one class of people to the other. Obama said that he was going to treat our tax dollars responsibly, just as civilians, us, just like we do our paychecks. Well, last time I checked, I couldn't go out and borrow $800 billion from somebody to run down and give it to a bank or to my neighbor next door, or a couple months before that, borrowing $700 billion to give it to them. Not to mention that the Treasury has already backed up the banks to the tunes of trillions of dollars in government loans, which, of course, we don't talk about. Is this a change that Obama has promised? President Obama has promised a tax cut for 95% of working Americans. But what he's not saying is that the tax cuts that the old President Bush gave all Americans, those will be rescinded, therefore giving every American a tax increase. President Obama says he's going to run our country on clean energy. Nuclear power happens to be one of those clean energies. How come we're not talking about also building a couple nuclear power plants with the hundreds of billions of dollars that they're giving everybody else? President Obama also mentioned about bringing down the cost of health care. Well, if you use a European or a Canadian healthcare system, that would be quite true, because one of the things they do in Canada and in Europe is they figure out if your life is worth what they're going to be spending on you. If not, you can just drop dead. Carbon cap. Now that in itself sounds like a really good idea, but the only problem is it hasn't worked so well out in Europe. In Europe, they did the carbon cap, thinking that as supply and demand for carbon caps increases, the price of the carbon would go up. The only problem is that during the recession, companies aren't making as much product, so they don't need the carbon credits anymore. So that didn't work out very well either. And besides, if it does turn around, when it does turn around that the country starts producing more things, if the company has to buy more carbons in order to produce a product, don't you think that company might turn around and charge the customer more money for the product that they are making? Winning in a global economy. Obama talks about helping businesses win in the global economy. Well, one of the ways that Obama can help businesses win the global economy is to reduce taxes. If it was beneficial for companies to work here in the United States, they wouldn't be shipping the jobs overseas. Obama did not inherit a $1 trillion deficit. When Obama was in the Senate, he helped make a $1 trillion deficit. Of the $800 billion that was just voted on and passed into law, that is part of the deficit that Obama supposedly is now finding. Financial crisis and a costly recession, we're in it. The government isn't going to be able to stop it. Oil and gas companies removing the taxes that they pay, that the government gives them, the taxpayer that they give them. That's a wonderful, fine idea, but again, you have to remember, if you increase the cost of a company to do business, that company is going to pass on the cost to us, the consumer. So I hope that helped everybody maybe pull their heads out of their rectums and figure out what's really going on in our country. Maybe some of you guys need to take a class in economics or business. But I hope you found this helpful. And remember, this is George Washington.